Hey, good evening. Hope everyone is well. And here I am. I am here to look at something else totally, which I haven't actually done before. But this is something everyone is talking about. I will try as much as possible to keep this video very, very short. And what am I looking at here? I want to look at the Nigerian stock market today. And everyone is talking about the market is dropping, it's collapsing, it's crashing. What are we going to do? What's going on? But let's have a look, guys, and let's share my screen. We'll try to keep it very short, very simple, so you do understand what I'm talking about here. Um, Oopsie. We don't like red, do we? Okay, now, firstly, I want to talk about a few things. And a few things I'm going to be talking about I will be looking at the key indices of the Nigerian market. And when I said key indices, I will be looking at number one, let's look at the NGX 30. So the NGX 30, this is a bit this is the top indices of the Nigerian market. Okay, NGX 30. Now, this is amazing. Now, first thing I'm going to say is nothing I say here is financial advice. Number one. Number two, I will be looking at this from a technical point of view, technical viewpoint. Now, so I'm going to be looking at this from a technical viewpoint. Nobody actually talks about the Nigerian market from the technical viewpoint, but you've got to understand that as far as the market is concerned, there's demand, there's supply. You know, if you flush the market with way too much money, sometimes there's what they call a technical shake-up. The market will shake it up and it would decide, you know what, there's oversupply. And when there's too much supply, what happens? The demand collapses, basically. It's just, I mean, or when there's too much demand, what happens? The supply will shift and vice versa. So anyway, let's look at NGX 30. Look at this. The NGX 30 components are, look, we've got the Airtel, BUA Food, Dangote, MTN, etc. You know, these are great companies in Nigeria, and you could see most of them are dividend paying companies as well. But I'm not looking at this from a I'm not, let's just wrap it, okay? I'm not looking at this from a macro point of view. Everyone has been talking about the macro. Yes, the macro happens in the short term, but in the longer term, people forget about the technicals. Now, for the short term, the technicals does not work in Nigeria in a shorter time frame. So you got to extend it large. And look at what I'm looking at right here. This has been on a crazy, crazy move. Okay, let's get the mark out right there. And what I will say, what I think will happen. Okay, so number one, looking at it right here, this has been on a great move. But right here, it's just gone on. So you can see this top and it just keeps going on. Okay, so this is a washed with way too much money. And, you know, I don't know, this Naira that cheap, we just keep throwing money. We don't know anywhere else to put our money. So number one, that is the top right there. If the top gets bought, I can tell you, well, I believe this will flush further down. So that's number one for me. I believe this requires a bit of a shake off before it drops. Number one. Number two, let's look at the NGX 50, which is just a bit of an extension of the NGX 30. Okay, NGX 50, look at that again. Look at this on a weekly time frame. Okay, the last time this happened, many people seem to forget so soon. The last time the market got to an all-time high, we did not break even for how many years? For 5 years. And this happens as it is in American market, European market, so it is in Nigerian market. Look, it took I was going to say 412 days, but yeah, it took how many days? From January, 18th of January to 23rd of July. Usually give me the days. 2016 days before this thing breaks even. So, you know, I'm going to tell you my final thesis in a minute. Okay, so that's another point of view. Look at that. And now the market broke even. So if you had bought in 2018 at this point, you did not make any money until 2023. And again, we are right there where we started again. boom. And guess what? Just keep buying. That's what everyone says. You ignore the technicals, right? They do not work until they work. Okay. And then again, if you look at what happened here as well, let's bring it on again. 2018, we said they did not break even. Yeah, actually, they did not make money until 2023. And now again, we are right there again. So see another journey. I expect this at some point, this thing becomes super extended. And guess what happens? They would have to collapse and fall. So at this point, I'm waiting. We'll see how it goes. So I believe this has got a bit of a load shedding, about 1,000 points at least. That's what I think is going to happen. Again, it's not financial advice. The next one, only looking at it from three core angles, NGX CG. Now, NGX CG. Again, technicals does not work until it does. And there you go. Sorry, just give me a second quickly. So now, okay, so the NGX CG is the corporate governance index for the Nigerian exchange, and it tracks the performance of the companies that meet specific governance standards. It's sectoral indices index, which is to analyze the market trend, and the performance can be viewed on performance index, which is what I'm sorry, on brokerage platform, sorry, on financial platforms, which is what I'm looking at. So it's an index, it measures the performance of a specific segment, and it's used for financial analysis and investors. Um, they use the indices like the NGXCG to understand the market trend. They assess the performance of different sectors, and you can make investment decision. I've never seen anyone talk about this. And this is a key pointer. What is this telling you? It's telling you it's coming down. Look at that. That right there is, in trading terms, they call that a double top. So you can see right here, the index is perfectly fine, but down. And again, they're telling you, no, this is bearish. And look, there's no form of support. So do not expect not to lose money. Look, there's nothing like a risk-free trade, okay, or investment. So, and that's what you can see. So the NGX CG, the Corporate Governance Index, is telling you right now, this is bearish. It's downtrend. Now, what am I going to do about this? Not a lot, to be honest. But at the same time, let's see the last time it happened, corporate governance. We can say things have changed. And of course, what do they say in the markets? Yesterday's news is not today's news, okay? But again, the most important thing is that every day is always different. Or what's the word I'm trying to look for? History always repeats, but it rhymes. Or one thing people always say is this time is different. And I say this is one of the most important thing or the most useless statement. This time is different, isn't it? Look, the last time we had a corporate index, it was what year? Which is when it started, just about 2018. And look at that. It did not retain that same thing until 2024. And now we are super extended. So you got to ask yourself, is Nigeria that risk-free? And no, things are just about taking shape, but you got to be careful. So, and as you can see right there, it's telling you it's collapsing. One thing I say, or I say to guys when we trading, when we investing, do not buy a falling knife. People say, yeah, it's fine, just buy, and that's fine. Look, so many companies out there which used to be worth a lot, billions, now worth zero. Like Ken Rogers said, I'm just gonna put the lyrics on this on the screen quickly, and it says, this is a gambler's anthem, okay, which I think many of you do know already, but let me just find it. I'm only going to put the key thing that you need. So the secret to surviving, let's have a look, is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep, because every hand is a winner, every hand is a loser, and the best you can hope for is to die in your sleep. Or the other one, which is my favorite, which is just the chorus, really. Let's talk about it here. Know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. Don't count your money when you're sitting at the table because there'll be enough time for counting when the dealing is done. Now, You got to know when to hold, know when to buy. People say just keep buying. No, you don't know how long this is going to collapse. Oh yeah, just keep buying. Okay. Naira's been gaining strength. It's another video I'm going to talk about at some point. Naira's been gaining strength. Do we know when that's going to stop? We don't know. Do we know if that's going to reverse? We don't know. There's certain factors, there's seasonality which comes into play. That's totally a different video. I'm going to be talking about that at some other time. But again, you've got to be careful. How about I mean, one thing I say is losers buy losers. Wait, let the markets get some stability, gain some strength, and then you can buy. Look, corporate governance, or should I say, investing has changed. Do not invest the way you invest in 1995, but the same way you will be investing in 2025. Look, investing makes sense. It makes sense. But at the same time, you've got to use these things between your ears, okay? So what am I going to do? I will be patient. Of course, make your list. It's called a shopping list. Make a shopping list of the good ones you want to buy. When the dust is settled, of course, you've got to pay attention to what's going on in the market. When the dust is settled, then you can start dishing out. Okay, you don't know. Look, a 10% dump could lead to 20, could lead to 30. One thing about the Nigerian market, which is amazing, you get a circuit breaker once he's not allowed to lose more than 10% in any one day. But look, multiple 10% over a few days, that that will crush you, anybody, really. So you got to be careful, understand what you're doing, know the game you're playing. But at the same time, like I said again, I'm looking at this from a totally different point of view where people don't look. And like I said, technicals do not work until they work. In the next video, I'm going to look at some of the companies and how or where I see them. And until then, guys, I will say trade safe, stay alert, and have a good one. Bye bye.